William, what were you like at school?
Uh, well, that's a
Like,
good
what
question.
was
It's been
the
a long
school
time.
experience
You mean like
like
high
for you?
school? You mean like high school or
Yeah,
middle?
like
Okay,
were you a
sounds
quote
right.
unquote good student? Like, did you think you would go into teaching?
Oh, no, 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 no. Look, I'm going to actually talk about this tomorrow because we're doing this thing about your favorite teacher, connecting people.
Love
So,
that.
okay, so we did this whole thing about that. School was really difficult for me because I
Right.
didn't have, we're better at the scaffolding today. We do better with like
Yeah.
structurally for the kid for learning. So if you gave me a book, like I would be given a book to read
Mm.
without any scaffolding, and I struggled in school. I was really struggling,
Right.
and I got by. And my parents were divorced. I mean, it's a long story. My parents were divorced. I was living in Northern California. I moved from Southern California. It was very disruptive. So schooling did become a safe space for me because it was a
Wow.
very deregulated time. But I had incredible teachers that
Mm.
opened my world.
I love that.
So really like teachers that I can talk about that opened just literally blew my mind open. It wasn't about exams. There wasn't like test stuff. It literally was the opening of my mind, and that's where it opened up for me.
I have had the privilege of interviewing so many incredible people like yourself on the podcast, and I always ask that question, like, what was a teacher that made a difference? And it sounds like such a cliche question, but I think what's so important is no one has ever mentioned content. Like, no
No,
one has ever said, I'm so
no.
grateful for Mr. Smith because he taught me about acute angles and 3D shapes. Like, it's just never happened. Like,
They
people,
talk about
yeah,
who the person was. So in the
yeah,
Unleashed Learning system, one of the
yeah.
keys is the key of teacher,
Mm.
because who the teacher is matters. And we remember who the person was more than the content. So when we
Yeah,
talk about, and that's where well-being comes in, because
so
if you know
powerful.
who you are, you have a spark to
Mm.
open a door for someone, and they may not remember the content, but they will remember you.
Yeah,
And it's the missing part. So that's one of the pieces of the Unleashed Learning system is who the teacher is matters.
I love that. So,
And we do a lot of work. Sorry, go ahead. I'm
no, I
interrupting
was
you.
just going to say, why and how on earth did you end up back in the classroom? Like, if you thought that
Uh,
teaching was not something that you would move
yeah.
into, tell me about that process of graduating from college and then going back into the classroom, or what was that process
I,
like?
I was undergrad. I was gonna be a journalist, journalism. So I was in a journalism major and I hated it. And then somebody said, we don't in California, you do 2 years of general ed and then you take
Mm,
your major. So
mm,
I was exploring lots and lots of stuff. And then what I realized was stay as general as possible. That's what I just got it. So I was an English major and a Spanish minor. So I was learning Spanish. And when I was doing the English degree as a creative writing emphasis is when I knew that I think maybe the teaching piece would be the piece. And I thought I would just do it for a couple of years and 30 years. And then it just opened the door. It was like, when you hit the current, and the
mm,
first year was really hard, but I knew I hit a current. I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to be here. So I think
mm.
it chose me more than I chose it.